Hey guys, Future Mel here. I just wanted to let you know to stay tuned until the end. I did have some bloopers and stuff. I tried to film this Techo Kaigi catch up yesterday or the day before, and I had some bloopers in there, so if you want to stick around and watch the bloopers and the outtakes, stay till the end of the video. I'll put them there. Bye. Hey guys, what's up? It's Mel. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Melanie and I do stationery, journals, and all that good stuff, and occasionally purses. But today is not about purses. What we are going to talk about today is actually my 2025 Techo Kaigi. Yes, my 2025 planner and journal lineup. And is it still working, or did I completely fall off the wagon and start something new? I'll tell you what, things are different. Things are definitely different. So at the start of the year, I had big dreams, okay? Big dreams about who I wanted to be, and I laid out my planners, journals, everything. Felt like I had my life together. I had my Hobonichi cousin, I had my weeks, I had my, my traveler's company notebooks, I had my passport, my standard, I had everything that I thought that I was going to use for the rest of the year. Did I stick to that? Well, stay tuned to find out. Now, for the first part of the year, I did actually do a video a few weeks ago, a few months ago, whatever, about my 2025 lineup, and I thought that was going to be sustainable. It wasn't. It wasn't sustainable. So a lot of things have changed, and there are some things that I would like to address. So let's start out with what is actually working, okay? So here are the planners that I am still using. I'm still using 3 of my planners. I'm using my Hobonichi cousin, I'm using my traveler standard notebook, and I'm using the Hobonichi weeks. So this is my mental health self-care tracker, and that's working fine. I did change out my cover for my standard traveler's notebook to the Starbucks Reserve Roastery cover from Tokyo. And I also altered the inserts in here. So this is technically the same, but it's also kind of different because I don't have everything that I had in it previously. And then of course my cousin, which is my daily morning pages. I do my gratitudes in here, and then I also daily write stream of consciousness journaling. And then I finish my day up in here. So those 3 things are working. Now what is different, and actually let me start by what I've actually gotten rid of. That would be these 3 things. And it's not that I've gotten rid of them. I'm not completely abandoning them and saying I'm never going to use them again. They're still on my shelf. I still feel like eventually I'm probably going to use them again. But the original A6 Hobo Techo, I'm not hand lettering right now. It's not really in my scope of things that I want to do. I'm just not in the mood. Sometimes we ebb and flow with our hobbies, and this one has kind of fallen by the wayside. I just don't find that I'm reaching for this. So this one has actually gone back on the shelf. The second thing that's gone back on the shelf is my passport notebook, traveler's notebook. And I was using this as a daily planner. I use the undated horizontal layouts to track, my appointments, and I was actually trying to use this as a wallet, but honestly, it's too much. Like, it's too big, it's too much. I'm one of those people that likes to have modularity, and this does to some extent, it does have modularity. But I need a planner where I can have notes pages after that, where if I need to make lists, if I need to write down appointments, if I need to elaborate on what my day says. This one, you don't really have that much room to do that in. You know, it's a limited horizontal space. There is nothing except other days on the opposite side of the page. So you're limited to this little tiny space per day, which is fine if you don't have anything to do and you're not trying to actively plan your life. But then what is the point, you know? And this was also being used as a kind of a mini diary when I was out and about. I didn't find that I was reaching for this as much. So, and then my scrapbook, I mean, when am I gonna have, I don't have time. I don't have time to take this with me and take all my scrapbook stuff and shove it all in my purse. Like my purse, this is one of my purses. It's got limited space, okay? It looks fairly large, but it doesn't house all of my stationery. It doesn't house all of the ephemera that I use. It doesn't hold all of my glue and, you know, tape and stickers and everything that I like to use to decorate with this stuff, and washi tape, you know? Like this kind of stuff I love to do. And there's a time and a place for it. It's not in something that should be portable and as a wallet. So this one was abandoned. And I still love it. I still think it's a good investment for people who don't really have much going on in their lives, or if they want to use this as a wallet, maybe get one insert and then get some, you know, pocket card holders or something like that. It would be fine for that. My use of this though, I can't see not bringing 2 to 3 inserts with me. And that's kind of why, and I don't need whole inserts. I just need pages. So we'll get into why later, because I did switch this out for something. And so we're not using this anymore. Number 3, we're not using my other Camel Standard TN, which houses now my reading list and my ink swatches and what I have inked in each of my fountain pens. So the reason we're not using this is because I stopped reading. Reading kind of ebbs and flows for me. Sometimes I'm really into reading. Sometimes I just don't have time, you know? It depends on how my life is going and what my focus is on right then. Right now, my focus is more on handbags and journaling and making flower arrangements and hanging out with my family and spending time with my son, and, you know, of course, work. And reading is just kind of low on my priority list right now. Don't get me wrong, I love to read. I could go through books daily. I mean, I used to bring my Kindle with me to work, and when I had downtime, I would read. And that is not my reality anymore. I kind of have more stuff going on than, you know, time to read. And that's okay. You know, I'm sure I'll get back to it. I still have Kindle Unlimited. It's one of my favorite things. I love to read. I love to get lost in a story. I love to see the main characters grow. I love that kind of stuff. It's just not in my life right now. So is this journal necessary for right now? No. So this is why I'm not using it. So on to what is the same, kind of the same, is my Traveler's Notebook. Standard Tokyo Edition Starbucks Reserve. This, I would say, this is the main insert that I use, and it is the grid insert from Baumkuchen and TRC. It's Tomoe River paper, and this is where I do, after I do my morning page and my cousin, I come in here, I washi up my spreads, I put stickers on them, I put washi, you know, I do all this stuff, and then I write, and I write until I feel like I don't have anything else to say, which is why I do SOC journaling exclusively. I feel like it's, you know, some people have a brain dump where they just list out things that are in their head. I'm kind of more like a squirrel, okay? I will write things down, I'll have one train of thought, and then I'll be like, okay, I need to make dinner. here's what I'm having for dinner. And then from dinner, I'll be like, well, let me think about this. I actually need to cancel my Disney Plus subscription. So I'll write that down. Things that don't really correlate to each other, they don't have any rhyme or reason for why they're in my head, they just pop into my head, I put them down here, and that's how it stays. And it's a very good outlet for me. I do enjoy this style of writing. You know, I think it's very therapeutic. So that's where we kind of sit with this. So the only one that I exclusively use every day is this grid notebook. And I could probably get away with just having one paper insert in here and then having my traveling, you know, stationery inserts where I keep my stamps, my keto washi tapes. This is kind of where my whole life lives. Like, morning pages is okay, but this is my whole life. You know, this is my day-to-day, hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute, what I feel, what I'm thinking about, everything. So this one is probably never going to go out of rotation. The location may change. It may not always be in this notebook. It may be in another cover, but this grid notebook in here will always be a part of my rotation, and that's never going to change. My Hobonichi weeks is still the same. I'm still in here tracking every day what my mood is. On the left side, I write down what my mood is. And then on the right side, I track my sleep. Up here, how many hours of sleep I got. I check my habits, whether I took my meds, I did my hair stuff, I did my IPL, if I did my skincare. I track my skincare down here too, where if I did exfoliation or tretinoin that night, or if I did nothing. And then down here is actually whether or not I did a face mask for that day. This kind of helps me know whether or not I'm doing those things consistently, and if I'm not, why? Because a lot of my self-care is linked to my mental health. If I'm not doing well mental health wise, if I'm depressed, if I'm stressed, if I'm overwhelmed, I will slack on the skincare, I will slack on the supplements, I will slack in my sleep. I can tell, you know, if I'm gonna have a good day or a bad day right off just because of the amount of hours that I slept in the night. You know, if I'm getting less than 6 hours of sleep, is it gonna be a good day the next morning? Probably not. So this has been tremendously helpful in getting with my doctor and letting her know mood-wise, am I okay? Am I having more bad days than good? Or am I having more good days than bad? You know, am I taking care of myself? Am I taking care of what I need? Because I'm sure anyone who's a parent can relate. Your life changes in a way where you're no longer focused on yourself. You're focused on taking care of this child, and you know, everything else kind of falls by the wayside unless you make it a priority to take care of yourself. So I'm trying to reintegrate that self-care back into my life. I need to take care of myself now and focus on myself and make sure that I'm okay so I can be okay for him. So that's where this comes in. So this is still going strong. Still do it every day, every week. I make a new one. It's working well. The cousin, pretty self-explanatory. Do my morning page in it, do my 3 daily gratitudes. That still works fine. So that's good. Now I do have 3 new additions. They're kind of substitutions, I'll say that. The Plotter Bible. This has replaced my passport notebook. Well, this and this. This is my wallet. I just got this from Woozy. It's just like a plotter. This works well on the go and it fits in every single one of my bags. This does not. This is what I use to plan my life, and this stays home most of the time. Calendar is in here. I cut up a Hobo Weeks, put it in here. So yeah, this is working. This is my favorite thing ever. I mean, I'm not journaling in here. It's not my favorite journal. What I am doing in here though is curating ideas. It's mostly to curate ideas and to hash out those ideas and see where those things are going to lead. So this is a big kind of vision board element in my life. So I love this. This is a new addition, probably within the last month or so. I've really grown to like it. Do I use it every single day? No, but probably 5 out of 7 days I'm in here. And I love it. I mean, I love it. This goes with me everywhere. I actually keep it with a little pen thing from Galen Leather with pens in it. And these are the Pilot Juice Ups. They're 0.3. They write finely, and I got my inserts in this Woozy from Plotter and Sterling Ink. So I have both the 2mm grid and the 3.9 by 3.7 grid from Sterling Ink. They both work fine. The Sterling Ink is Tomoe River paper, so it's very thin. I don't have any issues with this being bulky. It's actually much thinner than my old wallet, so this is nice. So I keep those in my purse, and I change out purses pretty frequently, so it just sticks in the back, and I stick my pens in there. And if I need to jot something down, if I want to come up with ideas and we're out and I need to take notes on something. I did start a commonplace journal because I was using this as my commonplace journal. This is a Kokio Sufa soft ring notebook with graph grid insert. I do still love this notebook. I do still use it, just not as a commonplace journal. This one is my commonplace journal. It's a Hobonichi notebook, and it just has everything that I'm interested in. And I do comparisons in here, honestly. This is where I do my comparisons of bags that I like. Like, I'm very into handbags right now. I don't know why. It's like a hyperfixation. It's bordering on a problem. But I do all the research on the bags in here, just like I did with the Plotter. I mean, I agonized for a long time over getting a Plotter versus a Me Plus versus a Woozy, and even making one myself, which is what I did. And it's my next thing. It's my last thing. This is where I do that. And it's just kind of a external brain for me, where I can look back and compare my notes and see, you know, here's my research, here's what I want to do, here's where I can source those things. Also, am I going to buy this handbag, or am I going to buy the dupe? Am I going to save up for this and make it really special, or am I even going to like it? You know, do I want to spend this amount of money on a purse that potentially I could not like? So I come in here and I hash that out and I do the comparisons, and this is just kind of like a second brain, and I really like that. So this is kind of a new edition, kind of a not new edition, but it's a different book, but it serves the same purpose. It's a second brain. This is where all of my thoughts go for comparing things and things that I'm thinking about buying, things that I'm thinking about making. And then this is the binder that I made myself. It is a notebook cover from Galen Leather with the Krause ring spine and 11mm rings. And this houses my finances, because I prefer to have my finances on paper. I don't like digital finance. It's not for me. I like to write it down. That way it sinks into my head. You are spending too much money, or you need to allocate resources here, rather than having a little app yell at you, and it just doesn't work on me. So pen and paper works on me, apps don't. So I have my finances in here. I have my sticker ideas or little drawings that I want to do. Pretty nice. And then I have my affirmations and quotes, because it's part of like my manifestation journey that I'm on. I'm trying to think better thoughts because I have anxiety and depression and things like that. So any kind of affirmations, quotes, anything like that where I feel it's a positive thing in my life that I need to keep looking at and keep referring back to, it goes in here. So I have affirmations in here, I have quotes in here, positive things that I see, that I hear, I will write them down in here. And it's just been really nice for me to look back on these and think, you know, the first one, it says, I am ready to take on new opportunities. That's not something that I would think about day to day, but reading it and saying it out loud and putting it into the universe, I'm ready for new opportunities. That can do something to my brain, potentially. You know, it can make me open to these new experiences and think maybe this is something I should be pursuing, rather than not having it at all and just kind of, you know, stuck in that negative mindset of I can't do it. Because a lot of times I find myself stuck, you know, either thinking I can't do it, or I shouldn't do it, or, you know, there's a million reasons why I shouldn't do this thing. And maybe all I need is one reason why I should. And maybe that's the path that I'm supposed to be on, and maybe I should pursue that. So that's something to think about for me. And that's just why I like my quotes and affirmations. So this is my 2025 quarter one Techo Kaigi catch up. So I hope it was informative to you guys. I know that it's not all super cute and glamorous and everything like that. There's a lot of stuff that I wish that I would have stuck with, but I think I have better alternatives now. So these things are holding up, and moving forward, I'm just kind of focusing on simplifying things. You know, I'm having one binder for this, a binder for for commonplacing if I need to have a second brain, hobbies, and then journaling and mental health. I think that's pretty simple. You know, I don't have to worry about scrapbooking or keeping an extra diary just because I'm out. I don't need a special book for that. I can just use my little woozy thing, write down my thoughts, write down what I'm interested in, and then maybe transfer it to one of these books later, or not use it at all and just rip it out and throw it away because it's modular. Like, who cares? So I would love to hear about how your 2025 Techo Kaigi is going. Hopefully in quarter two I'll still have the same thing, but if not, I'll update you and let you know how it's going, and we'll go from there. So I'd love to hear how your planner system is working for you this year. Have you gone off the deep end and ordered 50 million binders, kind of like me? Have you made your own? You could always make your own. It's cheaper that way. I really enjoyed this check-in. If you did too, give it a like, subscribe, comment. You know, let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know if I'm crazy, because honestly, I feel crazy a lot of the time. Anyways, thanks you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. This is Noxie. He's so cute. And he's so tolerant. I love him. I found him at a bar. Go through. Ooh, I got cat hair. Well, I'm gonna redo that. Well, it doesn't really matter, I guess. I just have cat hair all over my face. Need more lip balm. And I probably will reply because I have nothing better to do. That's a lie. I have a child and a family and, you know, a job and stuff like that. It's fun. Anyways, today, what I'm using this year, I'm not using them. I'm not using them anymore.